the street I grew up on, it took a village to raise a child. I think I grew up in the last era of that, where you could be doing something bad up the hill, and then I'm gonna tell your mama, boy. And sometimes you whoop your ass before you get home. It takes a village to raise a child. In the 70s was the last era of that. We lose a little bit of ourselves for each generation. We lose some of ourselves each time we pass it on. Because we're given things that we didn't have. We're given an easier way to live, but it costs. But we don't look at what it costs. Because we don't really value what it costs.
Now I will never be your hater, I'm your biggest fan. I hope it falls into place just how you planned it. Life could put you in a pickle, just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail, you saw the clip, you shout out and rest in peace to DMX. The village is gone, man. You know, he said he was part of the last generation that had the village, and the village is gone, dog. Like, some of the reasons why I think the village is gone is actually travel. Like there was a time, you know, when I was younger, most of the family stayed in the same city. So, and if somebody would leave and go to another city, they would have their family in the same city. You get what I'm saying? And then some other family members may say, hey, well, you know, your uncle or your aunt or, you know, somebody is in that city. So if you go there, you'll have family. And, you know, that type of camaraderie and unity, it spread out to the kids. And then because of that, you would have situations where kids come over because it was a family environment. So you could be you're a friend and you become friends with somebody, and then y'all really start kicking it tough or whatever. And if you go over their house, it's a bunch of people, it's a family there. You know, it could be, you know, mother, father, brothers, sisters, and then aunts and uncles and, you know, their kids and cousins and all kinds of stuff, right? So people had a camaraderie, and the adults would meet. You know, the adults would say what's going on, and really, really, if the adults didn't like the parents, you wasn't going over there. If the adults didn't like the other adults, no, we're not doing this. Because I don't know what y'all doing. I don't know how y'all raising these kids. And then some of this has to do with there were certain codes of conduct and standards. There were certain things you didn't do. And there were certain things, you know, you did do, or you did them in a certain way. So you wouldn't be rude around adults. You wouldn't cuss around adults. You wouldn't be disrespectful around adults. You might do that with your peers, but not people older than you. And it was enforced by other people. Like if somebody else caught you doing it, it's like, hey, no, you know what's about to happen. So the village kind of, for the most part, kept people in line and moral. You know, you had to go to church. You know, I don't even go to church now, but you had to learn religion. You had to get a relationship with God. You had to, you had to be taught right and wrong. If you go to somebody else's house, it's expected you to know the difference between right and wrong and have manners when you go in other people's homes. This being so comfortable that you're going to just be you wherever you go, even if it's disrespectful to other people, that was never going to happen. That was never a thing. You get what I'm saying? So, that's partially why the village is gone. And I saw this clip, I want to say Big Bank Hank in Atlanta. And he was like, you know, his grandmother told him, something when he was younger, and it was, if you tell the truth, people are not gonna like you. And at least when it came to parenting, honesty was the best policy. You know what I'm saying? People were honest about their kids and other kids, and what's going on with the kids. And if your kid's doing something, nobody's gonna, for the most part, nobody's gonna sit there and lie on your kid just for you to get in their get in their behinds about something, right? So that was a whole nother thing. So you can trust the word of other people if they told you, yo, your kid did X, Y, and Z. And it's like, oh, that, because people were honest enough to say, they weren't going to discipline or reprimand your kid just out of the blue, for no reason. They'll tell you, yo, yeah, I had to do such and such because he did or she did this, and this. It's like, oh, you did? Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. And then you tell the kid, when we get home, you know what I'm finna do to you. So that was a whole other thing in itself, right? So now you have this thing where the parents can't be told what to do, the kids can't be told what to do. And but when it all falls apart, everybody needs help. You know what I'm saying? When it all falls apart, everybody needs help. And that's an issue. That's a serious, serious issue. Because now we're dealing with a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing, but they know that they don't want to be corrected. And that wasn't a thing that existed in previous generations. People will correct you, and be hands-on, like, you're doing this wrong and you need to do this. And you didn't necessarily, you had to learn what they taught you. You didn't have to do it the exact way they taught you, because you might tweak it a little bit for your own, to make it easier for you. But you are going to take the information in. There were certain standards that were in the community in general. So now I say there's no community because, since everybody moved, it's a lot of people just being a loner. This person's in this place and that person's in that place. And that's why friends became family, in the sense of, your friends are in town with you. And hopefully y'all growing as adults together, and y'all have a family, and they have a family, and y'all, I need this from you, I need that from you. Could you do this? Could you do that? I got you. This, that, and the third. You blend like that. But depending on what city you're in, that may or may not be feasible. Because, like, I live in Houston. I got friends that live north, south, east, and west. And we so far from each other. It'd be like, hey, man, I'm going to see you next millennia, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get on the Starship Enterprise one of these days, and I'm going to come see you. I already talked to Spock. He going to drop me off. He going to hit me with the little teleportation thing, so I ain't got to take all day. But the kids, it's the same thing. Like, of course, I've watched a bunch of my friends' kids over the years. They've watched mine, and the lacking of people to trust is also an issue. So there's no more village, and it's hurting us in essence, because when you have a society of people who are out there on their own, guess what? It's hard to understand what unity and community is if you got a bunch of loners out here, and they might click up with a few people to be a group of loners. You know what I mean? And they might fall out because of lack of standards and morals. So of course you can't trust people to extend that relationship to even entrusting them with the family. So the village is gone, man. But tell me what you think, man. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace. You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna take you.